It's 6 o'clock. I'm calling this meeting to order, please. Today is March the 4th, 2019, and this is our regularly scheduled time for the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for the City of Ripley. And as we normally do, we start our meetings with a prayer, and I've got one of the Ripley High School students here tonight to say a prayer for us. Monel Ellis, come on up here, please, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the mayor and city council men and women for allowing me to have the opportunity to pray for you all. May we all bow. Dear Lord, come before you humbly to say thank you. First of all, we want to thank you for allowing us to wake up this morning, protecting us while we went through our daily activities, Lord. And thank you for allowing us to make it safe to this meeting today, Lord. Lord, we're prepared to have a productive meeting today. We want to thank you for giving strength to our mayor and our city councilmen and women tonight, Lord. Allowing them to stay connected together throughout all the issues they may have and coming to conclusions, Lord, that will be able to benefit the community. Lord, we pray that all decisions made here tonight will be what will be going towards the plan that you have set in place for the city of Ripley, Lord. And may we do everything to uplift your name. In your holy name that we do pray. Amen.
Just keep standing for the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's a privilege for us to have you here as one of our young people to say a prayer for us. Yeah, it's our privilege. And I told them to sit on the front pew here to help on the camera from this forth. Has to exit. Dual threat tonight. I was going to say something else. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. I was having a conversation with Monel, and he's got a tough decision to make. He's a senior at Ripley High School. He told me he's looking at he's got offers at the University of Memphis, Fisk, and Morehouse, 3 outstanding universities. And like I told him, any of those 3, you won't go wrong. I've got 1 degree from the University of Memphis, so I'll push that one with Morehouse and Fisk are good schools. You won't go wrong with any of the 3. If we can help you, let us know.
Thank you.
First item on the agenda, consider the February 4th, 2019 minutes as printed and delivered in the agenda package. So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hankins makes the motion, Ms. Treadway the second. Discussion. Mr. Chibnall?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Second item, consider the February 26th, 2019 minutes as printed and delivered in the agenda
So
package.
moved.
Second.
Ms. Alston makes the motion, Mr. Beard the second. Discussion. Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Beard? Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins? Mr. Chibnall?
Yes, sir.
Are you hanging in there with us, Mr. Chibnall?
Still here.
He's a little quick tonight. Consider the February 2019 financial statement as printed and delivered in the agenda package. I need a motion.
Second.
Mr. Beard makes the motion. Mr. Chibnall the second.
Yes, sir.
Discussion. Finances are in good shape, ladies and gentlemen, through 8 months of this fiscal year. Mr. Treadway?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Mr. Chibnall?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard? Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Correspondence, none. Okay, next item, consider to accept the resignation of Tommy Stanley from the Ripley Planning Commission.
So move. Second.
Mr. Hankins makes the motion, Mr. Chipman the second. Of course, as you know, Mr. Stanley lost his wife Carolyn. I went to 2 funerals last week, Earl Mueller on Monday and Carolyn Stanley on Tuesday. And he's been a vital part of that planning commission program and good attendance. But he wanted us to remove him, so that's what we're doing tonight. Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blake? Okay. Consider to appoint Rebecca Hendricks to serve the unexpired term of Tommy Stanley on Ripley Planning Commission, March 2019 to March 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Alston has made the motion, Mr. Davis second. And I got Ms. Hendricks here tonight. Stand up, Ms. Hendricks, please, ma'am. If y'all don't know her, she's a classmate of Ms. Buckner and Ms. Alston. I believe all three are in the same class. And I was there when they were students. That tells you how old I am. But I wanted her to come tonight so everyone would see.
I
who
was there
voted
too,
on.
Mayor, so that tells you how old I am.
We appreciate you coming tonight, Ms. Hendricks. Did I get a motion in a second?
You did.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Treadway?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're good to go till March of 2022.
Thank you.
And Ms. Buckner will tell you when we meet. Of course, I ran their bodies. Okay. Justin Jones, Ripley Housing Authority, Executive Director, to address the board regarding rental assistance demonstration, which is a HUD program. And Mr. Jones is here with us tonight. Come on up here, Mr. Jones, please, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Stand up here between counselor and the reporter, please. You know everybody on the board, don't you?
I do. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes this evening. What the rental assistance demonstration is, we call it RAD. In 2012, HUD created this program essentially to combat the preservation and improvement problem that HUD has with public housing units. Currently, there's 1.2 million public housing apartments in the country, and there's just not enough funding to go to preserve these units and improve them. So there's roughly 10 to 15,000 units that are being taken offline each year because of the deterioration. And so HUD created this program to essentially allow housing authorities to convert their properties from public housing Section 9 to Section 8 property. Most of us are familiar with Section 8 property. We're going to be exploring that option. We're going to have 2 public meetings on Monday, April the 29th at 5 o'clock, and Tuesday, April the 30th at 10 a.m. I would encourage anybody that has any questions or comments to call or email me or to come to either one of these meetings, and we'll address it. If anybody has any questions tonight, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Can you define Section 9 housing for me? I don't know. Maybe not know.
Public housing.
In general,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and Section 8 is simply where somebody who owns property like privately
Yes,
uses
sir.
it for.
Yes, sir. There's a voucher program and
I figured that. I just want to make sure. Thank you.
yes, sir. Most people are familiar with the Section 8 or public housing. Public housing is Section 9 in the U.S. Housing Act Code of 1937, so.
These meetings will be at the housing office.
Yes, sir, at 101 North Crest Street here in Ripley. Yes, sir. You know, since 2000, HUD has cut capital funding repair program by 53%. And so historically, Section 8 funding is more stable. And so that's why they've allowed us to consider this option. I mean, we're not the only ones. Memphis, Nashville, Jackson, Franklin, Knoxville have all converted some or all of their property. Some of the smaller housing authorities like ourselves, Martin, Covington, Decaturville and Parsons, Trenton, they're all considering this, and that's what we're doing. We're considering it. We're going to look at it, and if it makes sense for our community, then that's what we're.
It's not an all or nothing situation. You can just, you put some of it in section 8 and you something in section 9, or?
Right now, the regulations say we have to do half of our portfolio if we commit to doing this. So we have 265 apartments, so that's roughly 133 that we would have to commit.
Okay.
Now, would these still be operated under the realm of Ripley Housing Authority? You're not talking about selling these units?
No, sir. No, sir. We wouldn't sell it. As far as the operational, nothing would change there. It would simply just be converted to a different program under the HUD umbrella.
Well, I can tell the board that, of course, we just met a couple of weeks ago. The Housing Authority received a grant, what was it, $75,000?
67,000, a little over 67.
To help put a structure on the property that we gave the Housing Authority over on
Handy Circle.
Hamby
Amber
Circle,
Circle.
for the Helen Tucker Center, yes, sir.
Since I've been on this board, this gentleman here is the 5th Housing Authority Director that I've worked with. Fay Bird was the first one, and he's doing a heck of a job.
Agreed
And
with
of course,
that.
Miss Alston is our liaison.
Yes, sir.
She attends the meetings
Yes,
on
sir.
Monday
Yes, sir.
when they meet
Yes, sir.
and brings us back up to speed on what's going on.
Yes, sir.
And I congratulate you on the job you're doing,
Thank you,
because you're
sir.
doing a good job.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's not an easy job either.
It's not.
And I asked him to come because I wanted to make sure that the board could ask questions to understand what they're, fixing to do.
Yeah.
And Justin's a great leader, and I tell you what, we have some good food. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming.
I have two questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Does the Housing Authority currently have any Section 8
No.
property
No.
without regard to RAD?
We don't.
So the difference in the Section 8 and the Section 9 then would be with regard to qualifications and the obligations of the residents?
No, ma'am, the qualifications would be the same. They would still pay 30% of their gross income with some exceptions for some deduction exceptions, and some of those are medical, child care, and things like that. But the only difference is, right now, we have a flat rent option. So, if a tenant, if they're required to pay $500 for 30% of their income, and our one bedroom, the flat rent's $338, they can choose the $338 option. If we converted to RAD, that would go away, and that would affect roughly probably 5% of our residents. But there is a phase-in period for that over a year, so we could phase those residents in. That is the only difference so far. They actually get more rights under the RAD program. So they're allowed to, if we do work on an apartment, they're allowed to come back to that exact apartment instead of one, that's comparable. So,
And the advantage for Ripley Housing Authority is it just more fluid funding or?
well, it's more stable funding, yes, sir.
Stable.
Historically, when we look at where we're at, the funding is more stable, which would allow us, we would sign a 20-year contract with HUD. Right now, we sign a contract each year. And so, for example, our funding went down about $20,000 from 17 to 18. We don't know what we're getting for 19 yet. They've been giving us about 80% funding from 18. So we'll know the rents that we're getting each year. It's roughly 1.8 million is what we'll get for 20 years. There is a cost of living adjustment for 18. I think it was 2.7%, so that figure would go up. So we would know consistently what our rent is each and every year, instead of having to be left out in the dark.
Certainly help budgeting, wouldn't
It would help with budgeting, yes, sir. They, like, for example, this year, they say that, you know, they probably won't have our budget, our funding situated until June or July, so
it?
that's where we're at, so,
Thank you very much for the information.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, consider change order number 001 for Walker East Industrial Park Improvements Project Contractor DC Construction and Trucking Incorporated, increasing contract sum in the amount of $36,600 for the construction of a monumental sign. What was the original price, Donna?
The problem on this, we advertised for bids and we did not receive any bids for it. And A2H was the engineer on this project, and they contacted two sign companies to submit a bid, which they did, but the state has requested that this go through the contractor, and that's what the change order is for versus the other direction.
Is this a matched fund? Do we have to match this fund with this $36,000?
This is all included in the grant.
So this
that
isn't
we've
going to
already
cost the
approved.
city any more money,
No.
basically?
No, we've already got the money in there. I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Mr. Chipman makes the motion, Mr. Hankins second discussion.
I have a question. On our agenda, it shows 36,600, but the bid is 35,100.
It has contingency in there, in the event. The bid is 35,100, but and then also there's the contractors add-on,
Good profit, no risk.
right.
Okay.
I mean, it's not costing us anything, it's all in the site improvement grant, there's no match on that. We're the only municipality that has received two for Walker East. You've got it in your paperwork there, addressed to Connie Mayor Gaines on the grant for the STV building down there that we went and made a presentation to the state for that. We couldn't run it through the city of Ripley because of this grant work that's being done out there at Walker East currently. And they received that. First question they asked when we made that presentation was, we have never awarded a grant for a building before. My answer to that was, we'll make this the first one and we'll put somebody in there. So we got it, but that had to go through the county. So we have received three in this community right here within the city limits of Ripley. So I have a first and a second.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Mr. Treasurer? Consider agreement between City of Ripley, AT&T, and Precision Network Services to provide 50 meg internet service for 110 and 114 South Washington Street. Which 110 is City Hall.
Well, it will end up being for City Hall, the Police Department, and City Court. And these are the only ones that are available to go on this at the time being. This will be internet fiber.
What's the difference in cost from before and stuff?
This will be a reduction to our present cost. Now, it won't be a lot of reduction, but there will be a reduction to it.
It's supposed to be better service anyway.
Well, at the present time, City Hall has had tremendous
Mhm.
problems with our internet, even as we speak today.
Are you happy with this?
Well, this, Gas and Water has gone to this, and of course I've talked to Scott, and he's definitely pleased. He said it's like night and day.
What are we on now?
We're on UVerse, AT&T UVerse, and,
And we switched away from that also.
okay. And even though the megs that we have right now would be fairly comparable to this 50, but it's still a difference in the UVerse versus the fiber. Now, this is, people that are a lot more familiar with this than me are explaining that the county has also changed over.
So would you like to see us go with this, basically?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Chipman makes the motion, Mr. Treadway second. Further discussion? Mr. Chipman?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes?
Mr. Treadway?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Consider agreement with Urge A Fusion Company in City of Ripley to provide phone, fax, and internet services for various city locations. What locations are we talking about?
And this will be for, like I'm saying, it's not available for the fiber, but this will be for Public Works, the fire department, the park, the fitness center. These are all of our phone lines that are going through AT&T right now. And this is the same company that the county also went to.
And price-wise,
AT&T is
again?
getting out of the business network.
Ours? Wow.
For they're
Right.
mainly gonna go to residential.
Anita, Ms. Alston?
And it's definitely a large savings on this one.
So moved.
Ms. Alston made the motion,
Oh,
Mr.
I'll
Hankins
second,
second.
sure.
Any other discussion? Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes?
Mr. Chipman?
Yes.
Consider Arnold Thompson Arnold PLLC proposed audit fee for fiscal year 2018-2019 in the amount of $19,850.
So moved.
Mr.
Second.
Davis made the motion, Mr. Chipman second. How much we paid last year, Dan?
This went up 3%.
3%.
Did you say 3, Ms. Dawn?
Yes, sir.
Because I'll remind everybody here tonight, the city of Ripley, which included the utilities, did a perfect audit, zero write-up, which I don't think I've ever seen before, but we had it. I have a motion and a second.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Consider interlocal cooperation agreement, 25th Judicial District Drug Task Force. Mr. Hankins?
Yes, sir. I certainly think we need to stay into it. We've got a lot done for us, and we've helped some others too. And I make the motion that we approve it.
I'll second it.
Mr. Hankins makes the motion. Who made the
I
second?
did, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Chipman, discussion.
Council, can you tell us something about this?
This is the renewal of an existing interlocal agreement. It's administered by the DA's office, and it encompasses several law enforcement agencies. Of course, for us, it would be Ripley Police Department. And Ms. Buckner was provided a copy of the renewal agreement, I suppose, several weeks ago. And we've gone through, she found some errors in it, but I talked with the DA's office, and I think as of today, they delivered a clean copy with the changes made. but this is an existing agreement where we have participation in the judicial district drug task force.
Thank you.
How did this different from the one that we previously had?
It's a renewal of the
Right.
existing
It just
agreement.
renewals.
Right.
I get a motion in a second.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Mr. Chipman?
yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Consider TML conference attendance, that's Tennessee Municipal League. I told Ms. Donna to look at the minutes and what we discussed in our budget process. What would you come up
We
with?
had discussed, I don't know if each of you remember, but in the budget discussions that it was suggested that we reduce the conference attendance for the board. And there's been one or two that have mentioned it, so I thought we need to confirm if this is the direction you want to go. But that was,
Well-
that's how we set the budget, was for a reduction. I believe Mr. Davis had even mentioned that possibly the mayor and one alderman should attend.
I was the one that brought that up in budget concerns, because every year we fight budget deficits, we struggle to
And that's
make
where we
ends
were
meet.
again. That's
And
correct.
it will be no different when we start budget planning for next year. I enjoy going to TML conferences. I don't think I need to go every year. And it was my suggestion that 2 members of the board, the mayor and one more, or if the mayor's not able to attend, 2 members of the board can go, and we could rotate it. If there's a board member that does not want to go, chose not to attend, it's not that the meeting is extremely costly, but when you have 4 or 5 going, it does run into a significant amount of money. And just for consideration of the taxpayers, that we're not going and have those people that do go come back and tell the board what they learned at the conferences, what they found that might make our town better, rather than just going and saying, it was a great conference.
And that was discussed at our budget meeting, to come back and report to the board, to the public.
Of course, this year, registration fee would probably be the most expensive item because it's in Memphis.
Right, but now, in this one, normally we've only gone to the June conference, and there has been a request to go to the legislative conference, which we've not attended.
Well, if we're gonna do that, we might, in budget purposes, look at having a travel allowance per board member not to exceed a certain amount, including registrations. If they care enough to go, then they can pay out of pocket if they exceed their budget. I mean, I'm just trying to say,
We just, we need the direction of the board.
Well, that's why I had to put it on the
I'm just trying to save the city a little money
agenda.
in tight budget times.
Right.
How much do we budget for this? What is that item?
Well, once again, this year it's gonna be less expensive because it's in Memphis, but when it's in Knoxville, we've got mileage across the state, as well as additional hotel rooms per night, because you can't drive to Knoxville and attend a 10 o'clock meeting.
Is the legislative conference also in Memphis?
No, it's in Nashville.
When is it?
April.
No, that's the one, March.
I'm the one who requested to go to that because I think it's important we keep in touch with the legislators. Good chance to meet them in Vernon, I think, ask some questions.
Well, I think our legislature, from the district that we're represented in, is keeping us well informed with the weekly email. And TML keeps us informed with a weekly email, what's going on in the legislature.
But didn't we save over $20,000 when we went to TML last year? When we come back with a truck or something for public works, and we got the information from TML. So all of them is not just saying that, I mean, we do learn things when we go there, and we do bring things back, but we save something on a truck that we got for public works, and we got it by the knowledge of going up there to the TML meeting.
Oh, I agree with you, Ms. Austin. I'm just saying, I don't feel that we need 4 or 5 board members going.
Our membership registration and tuition is $5,000 budget.
How much, is any of that been spent thus far?
$2,755.
What was that for?
That was probably last year's conference because
It was in June.
it was, and the bills, they
Where
billed
was
us
it
in
last year?
July.
Nashville. I know I hadn't been the last 2 years. I've gone several times.
Well, I've been a member of this board for 15, and I had never been. And don't put my name down for this year, I'm not going either.
Okay?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we rotate it, the board member chooses not to go, then we can come back around.
There you go.
What do y'all want?
I just feel like we need to hold the line on that expense.
Are you saying that we got budgeted money for 2 people, is that correct?
That's what we discussed, yes.
Okay, that's what's in the budget.
But, and it's for only one conference, not for 2 conferences.
Oh, okay. You talking about the next one? The governor. Oh.
Well, not the governor's conference, the TML conference, the annual.
Well, the only thing we've gone to in the past is the governor's conference and TML. I mean, those are the only 2 I've ever attended.
TML sent an invite to the legislative conference, and I read your invite, and it sounded like it might be a good idea. If you want to cancel, don't get ready. I mean, it's fine with me. But I thought it felt like a good idea for at least one of us to go.
Oh, I read it and I thought it was interesting, but every week on Thursday, I get an email from Representative Hurt, and we also get the TML weekly update.
So are we gonna send Mr. Hankins to the legislative conference? Is that the question?
Where you want to go? You know, at this point, I don't really care.
I'm going to one of them,
Which one are you going to?
TML.
The annual. So
Is it too late to cancel the legislative conference and be refunded?
I'll have to check on that. I don't know.
Why can't we decide here tonight who's coming? We're all here together.
We
Yes,
can.
we can.
You know, Miss Austin wants to go, and who else wants to go to TML?
Oh, I would go every year. I just don't think it's money well spent for me to go every year. We need to spread it out.
What would you bring back? Bring back something that's gonna save the city, it's worth it.
I mean, we've always gone in the past, that doesn't mean we need to continue, but I mean.
I don't think it needs to be a specific budget line or a specific motion to go or not go. I think it needs to be discussed each time it comes up.
Whoever wants to go, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to have we're 6 people with some common sense. We don't have to have a motion that tells us when we're going or we're not going. That's just silly to me. If y'all want to make it, let's get it over with.
7 of us.
Right.
You said 6.
Well, I left me out of the smart one.
Okay. I would just leave it the way it is.
Just bear these things in mind, absolutely.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I
Sir.
think that the new members should have an opportunity to go so that they'll learn more about what's going on in the state. And they definitely, if they want to go.
Mhm.
Mhm. we can stay around on this board and don't know nothing but what we know here. So it'd be good if we could get out and learn what others are doing.
Okay, department reports. Y'all got any questions on those? One question I got is why can't we get the police report in the agenda package with the rest, Commissioner?
Chief, would you explain that again, please? We've discussed it several times, I thought I told them.
Report that way.
Sir,
I could do that, but you won't get the full month report. Like this month, the first was on Friday.
yeah.
So I can give you a partial month report on the days that are available, if that's what you want.
Well, I just know that this board, did we have a vote on that, to do away with the department heads to report to us, but to have their program so it could go out in the agenda on Friday? That way we can look at it, and if you got a question, you can ask it. When you get it tonight, you don't have that opportunity. Does this board want to go along with that to get a complete report, and some of them come the Monday of the board?
I do.
Well, I understand what Mr. Gould was saying, and just like next month, I believe April 1 is a Monday, and March 31st would be a Sunday. It would be rather difficult. We'd only get the partial month. I understand what he's saying though. If it'll be on our table, our position up here, we can come in 15 minutes early each board meeting, if that's the case, and look at it then. I understand a time gap there, time restraint.
Let me ask you this, Chief, did we have a shooting over the weekend?
Yes, sir.
How come I wasn't called?
I didn't get called until the next day.
So I heard about it on the street, and of course, I was blindsided, I didn't know anything about it.
I got a call that they were going, the shots fired call, and I never heard anything else this morning.
Do we have an individual that was shot?
Yes, sir. He was wounded in the shoulder, but he refused medical treatment. And he refused to give us any information.
Make sure now when we have a shooting that I get word on it, please.
Yes, sir.
Lee Johnston, I see you there with Downtown Development.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us.
Hopefully, with the weather permitting, we'll be able to plant the 238 shrubs around the square, weather permitting, this week. Also, give you a month's head up, the Journey of the Passion will be April the 12th. That's a Friday from 5 to 7, just like we did last year. And excuse me, right now we've got around 6, maybe 7 churches that are joining with Ripley downtown to put that on.
Council, will this be the right setting to bring up, maybe if we can discuss about the furniture and stuff on the streets again, can we discuss doing something different than what we're doing now? Would that be sufficient to say tonight? We could put it on the board for next month, or?
It'd be more appropriately put on a next month's agenda, so there's public notice that you'll be discussing it.
Thank you.
Where are we?
I mean, I was gonna bring that up.
I'm sorry.
I've got a couple calls
I'm
myself.
sorry.
How many citations we issued, Chief?
None.
No.
Sergeant Rader goes by, talks to him, goes back and checks again. So far, he says he hasn't had to issue a citation.
When you all send that, Johnny, how many times they've been warned? Or you or Mr. Bratton?
When I sent them out in November, Mayor, I know for a fact it had at least three different letters on the doors at 3 different times.
mean, I personally don't think it's working the way it was intended to work. That's my personal observation. I still see furniture.
Can I give a short presentation on what we get from the public in that power line?
Go ahead.
This is a prestigious award that the Power and Life Company got this year. It's the Diamond Level PRS Reliable Public Power Award. And this award is given to about 200 of the 2,000 companies. We received the highest RP3 award that could be given for the second time. And I just want to let them know that Power and Light Company has received this award, and only 200 others have received it out of the 2,000.
It is prestigious.
Where are we on the litigation, Attorney Jackson, for the downtown apartments?
Town Square,
Yeah, the apartments back here.
Town Square.
Where,
The owners of Town Square, just TNT Maintenance, appealed the codes enforcement decision requiring demolition. They appealed to Chancery Court. That litigation just concluded within the last month with an agreement that sets out a timeline by which the property will either be sold and completely renovated or demolished. And the deadline for demolition would be August, I believe. Mark Hayes from Dyersburg is representing the city on that litigation, but the deadline's August.
we have been to court then, in other words.
Yes.
Okay.
The hearing date was February, and it resolved a day or so before the trial with an agreement that sets out a timeline by which either renovation or demolition has to occur.
And it will be their responsibility to pay for demolition costs,
Yes.
and make sure of that.
That's a biggie there.
That's what I'm getting at.
Thank you.
Anything else? Had several come in a little late. Appreciate y'all coming in. We'll be here after the meeting is adjourned if you want to talk to us. I made the statement at Mr. Burwell Mueller's funeral. He was Miss Buckler's predecessor for 32 years. Because we used to meet in the old boardroom, and he'd have a pot of coffee after the board meeting. We sit and drink coffee after the meeting. I told him it's a track meeting, how to get out of here after the meetings, but I kind of hang around, good, bad, or indifferent.
Unless there's a ball game.
Less is a ball game.
Well, you know, the preacher that performed his service suggested that from the pulpit, Mayor, but I think he was alluding to the fact where there was something known as sunshine law, that we might be guilty if we stand around and talk about this business. We may be in violation, so I'm gonna continue to cut a trail unless someone out here wants to talk to me.
We sure don't want to do that. Okay, with no further business, I make the motion that we adjourn. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Come on, young man. Hello, sir. It's a leisure. Oh, yes, sir.
I told you.
However, yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that.
So, it's really not
Like this.